Peace and welcome, everyone. Welcome to SisStar Cipher on Reality Speaks TV. I'm Sparkle Denise, your moderator and your host for this evening. I have my co-hosts today, Sister Tioka Muhammad and Sister Victorious Venus. We're waiting on Reverend LaDana Clark. She'll be joining us shortly. Happy Resurrection Sunday, ladies. How are you feeling today?
Feeling great.
I am. I'm just glad to be here with y'all beautiful women. I missed you so bad and I needed this. So I'm looking forward to, communicating with all of y'all and Sister LaDana.
How are you feeling, Sparkle?
I'm feeling so good. Like the Holy Week, the whole concept of it is just like really fulfilling. And I like the feeling when the holiness aligns with me personally. So I feel like really, really inspired, empowered. I feel resurrected, for lack of a better word. Thank you for asking, Sister Tioka. And everyone who's watching at home, peace to you all and welcome to SisStar Cipher. This is a space where truth flows, healing happens, and we don't have to label everything, in order to feel it. Easter isn't just about what rose, it's about what rises within you. Before anything changes in your life physically, financially, or emotionally, it shifts mentally first. Tonight, we're talking about overcoming, not the loud kind, the quiet kind nobody sees. Tonight, I'm joined by some powerful women. Sister Tioka Muhammad, Victorious Venus. I'm grateful to share this space with each of you. And I have an icebreaker for you, of course. In this season right now, in your life personally, I'm going to start the order of parents with this icebreaker. What does overcoming look like for you right now, Sister Tioka?
Overcoming for me, that's a very good one. I like that. For me, it looks like God power is stronger than any other force that's out there. That's what overcoming looks like to me. It's like knowing that the Most High is in control, and every day He gives me an opportunity to try again. Because we go to bed, we, say sleep is the cousin of death. So in that sleeping stage, we get to, we when we rise, we get to try it again, and that's only through the power of God. So,
Thank you, Victorious Venus.
I'm so glad you asked about what overcoming, would look like for me. Because I've seen overcoming a number of times in my life. Like I've fallen and I've gotten back up. Yep, I limped and I bled and I scabbed over and I might even still have a scar. But that I can keep on walking, keep on moving, trusting that thing, that most higher, that is bigger than me, is taking care of me, and I don't have to be in control because my mentality makes me want to control everything I can, all at the same time, if possible.
All at the same time, if possible.
How about you, Sparkle? How about you? What does overcoming look like to you?
So that's a very good question. Thank you, Venus. Overcoming for me really looks like being present. Being present in the here and now. So quite often I find myself having thoughts of the past, not today, of course, But typically, when I'm not being present, I have thoughts of the past that kind of like passed by me, thoughts that left me vulnerable or uncomfortable or defeated, or thoughts where I felt like I was so helpless, not because of any choices of mine, but because of my circumstances and my environment. So overcoming for me right now in my journey looks like being present, because any of those things in the past are not happening currently as I'm speaking to you, or currently anytime that I'm having these thoughts about it. They're not happening now. And even if similar feelings show up, it's still not that. So I guess overcoming will be being present in the here and now. That's how I've been overcoming lately. So this is like the segment that I like to call House of Bondage, right? We hear the House of Bondage, but what if bondage doesn't always look like chains? You know, what does bondage look like today? I guess my question is, like, when you felt stuck in the past, ladies, or have you ever felt stuck in a version of yourself that you felt like you outgrew? Like, how did you navigate through that? Sister Venus, I'm going to start with you. Like, what does bondage look like today? And or have you ever felt stuck in a version of yourself that you outgrew?
I feel like uh, there's not a person on this planet that can't say they found themselves in a place of stagnation at some point. So I'm going to say absolutely. I found myself in places where I wasn't growing, even though I knew that I should. And that is what bondage looks like to me, is a habit or series of habits that keep you stagnant, that prevent you from seeing the circumstances and potentials that are within yourself to, benefit your situation and those around you who may be absorbing the energy that's coming off of you while you're, I don't know, losing it. So I think, yes, I've absolutely seen myself in this place. And, I can't say that the day before yesterday I wasn't there, but I'll tell you today is not going to be that day.
Very good. Sister Tioka, I'm going to ask you that same question. I'm going to repeat it for you too. Just so, would you like me to repeat what I said, or you got?
Yes, you can. Thank you.
Okay, absolutely. So, what does bondage look like today? And or have you ever felt stuck in a version of yourself that you knew you outgrew?
First, let me just say I really appreciate Sister Venus' answer. You know, um, to me, bondage today, what it looks like to me today. So I'm gonna deal with the inside, and then I'm gonna deal with the outside. So for as far as us as a people and a community, bondage to me looks like following a trend. It looks like going along to get along. It looks like generational curse. It looks like my mama, my parents, my grandparents ate that way. Ain't nothing wrong with them, so I'm gonna continue to eat that way. It looks like the habits of our foreparents. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like stagnation. It looks like no growth. It looks like a community not being able to rise above emotional scars to the thinking of what it is that they're supposed to be doing as a servant. That's what bondage looked like to me. Bondage from a community aspect looks like um, a fear. It looks like fear. And like those who are afraid that someone else is going to get something that they didn't get, or get recognized for something more or less, or so than or not get recognized for something that they did. That looks like bondage to me. Bondage to me look like being in a rat race. Bondage to me, it looks like insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. That looks like mental bondage. Physical bondage is controlled by that mental bondage. So personally, bondage inside of me looks like when I can't overcome what had happened already. When I'm still struggling with maybe the way I grew up and things that things that I saw or experienced that kind of keep me feeling doubtful, right? Bondage inside of me looks like ingratitude. Bondage inside of me looks like I'm a disbeliever. So I hope I answered your question.
You did. You answered very well. And the other question was like, have you ever felt like it? But from what you said, it sounds like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, no, that's the struggle, to overcome difficulties. You feel it, but do you recognize it enough to, okay, I'm stagnated right now. I'm in this habitual bondage mindset right now, but I can see it and I'm about to break free. So the resurrection becomes real. It becomes, a constant thing. So,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
Yes. Becomes a constant thing. Wow. So for me, because I know Venus, you're gonna ask me, what does bondage looks like for me? So I would just pretty much echo what you ladies already said so well. It looks like all of those things, and I guess what bondage looks like for me right now, personally, looks like not taking a step to make a change, like not rising above the thought, So I'm trapped in my own thinking, so I guess that would be my mindset, So rising above that would be like, okay, so you can see the thought above your situation. So now you have to physically take some steps towards that. You have to, make some plans towards that. And that's not always the easy to do. Sometimes it's a challenge depending on what's going on around me. But today, as I'm speaking to you, that's not a challenge. Greetings and welcome, Reverend LaDana, aka Lady Jam. Welcome. Came just in time.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Hello? Okay. Good. Glad to be here. Everybody. Apologize for the delay. Technology didn't want to work with me tonight at first, but God is good because I got the holy hookup. Amen. But I have been listening to the conversation.
Okay, so what you heard so far, what would you like to add?
Well, wow, bondage is a deep discussion, and it can be so many different things. Some people can be in bondage to people, places, or things, and sometimes not even know it until things get real rough and get real tough, or they get to a place where there's no return. I think it's important that there's not, in this discussion, that there's no stigma in reference to bondage, because I feel like people doing work on themselves, trying to get better, trying to work things out, that's good work. And some of that work is necessary when it comes to whether we're in bondage to people, places, or things. And I'm going to leave it in those three things as the humanitarian that I am, because I believe we can be addicted as well as be in bondage to those three things, people, places, or things. And when we find ourselves there, I thank God that the Lord is there to help pull us out if we reach out and reach on the inside and reach out to others that care about us. But it's a real deep subject. It's definitely a real deep subject.
Yes, because you can be free on the outside and still living on bondage on the inside. Right.
This
Be
is
free.
true.
Be free.
This is This is true. People do it every day. People walk into their workplace with a mask on every day. People walk into the church on Sunday, many Sundays with a mask on, because they're masking, the challenge that they may have on the inside. True that.
All right. Happy Resurrection Sunday to CJ Empress Poetry Lane watching from Facebook. Greetings, Queens, is what she's saying here. Her name is Empress Poetry. You ladies should check her out on Facebook. Her poetry is phenomenal. Peace to you, sister. She says, bondage for me is mindset. When I clear my mind of the negative people, places, and things, I am free. Thank you, CJ Empress Poetry Lane, watching for Facebook. Thank you for watching. I miss you, sister. Wow. Sister Tioka, I'm coming for you next. How does environment and community play a role in keeping people stuck or helping them heal? How does environment and community play a role in keeping people stuck or helping them heal? From your perspective, because you work with the community every day.
So how do we play a role at keeping people stuck? And then the other part is how do we play a role of helping them heal?
Yeah, how does the environment
How does the
community-
environment? So the question is, how do the community play a role of keeping people stuck?
Mm-hmm.
And then how does the environment help them heal?
Yes. Or yes, we're gonna go with that. That's what we're going with.
Yeah, you twisted me
That's
up
what we
here.
go with.
So, for the last answer, I dealt with the generational curse. And a lot of people think that that's just a family construct, like what happens in the family dynamic, that makes us stuck in this habitual generational curse era. But it's not just the family construct, because the community is represented through those who are leaders, the institutions that have been put into place by the government, whether it be school, social services, even the way the systems that we navigate day to day, the way we interact with that. Those community things can be considered a barrier, And I'm going to be a little controversial on this one, because if you think about a family construct that is trying to create a healing environment for their family, right, for their children and their space. And then at the same time, you're trying to figure out how to prepare your children, for the world, that you have to send them into this world. You have to send them into spaces that don't know them and don't have their best interests at heart. You also have to send them into spaces that may believe that they have their best interests at heart. So they want to give them what they have and think that that is what they need, right? So I'm going to speak specifically to the school system. One of the things that have always concerned me, is that when we look at the educational system, the representation in our community of teachers, they don't look like the students that are being taught. Now, that's not a racist thing. Like, it's not about race, it's about experience, life experience, right? So if you have I told this story before on one of the other podcasts where it's like, you have a family, poor family who don't, let's say we're going to go with Easter, who don't, not necessarily that they don't celebrate Easter, but they don't celebrate Easter in the way that other people are able to celebrate Easter, right? They may not get the new clothes. They may not, go to church. They may not have the Easter basket. Their dynamics is different. But we sit them into a community that have shaped it to make them feel like at home that, they could be feeling like, okay, we're going to provide it for them. But at home, it sets up this competitive thing. Like, I don't have access to this at home. This is not the way we believe at home. But when I go out in the community, I have to follow this, this narrative. I personally don't think that is right. I just don't. I think that we're too diverse for that. So I think in those situations, the community can become, what's the word that we said? It wasn't barrier. What was it that you said as far as the community?
Environment. The environment.
Yeah, okay.
Say that again.
The question was, what does environment and community play a role in keeping them stuck or helping them heal?
Right. So I'm on the stuck part, right? To where there is this mindset that the community, as we interact in the community, can keep you stuck, right? But then there's a healing thing too, right? So how do environment shape that healing part? For me, it really feels like if there's the opportunity to allow space for people to express themselves and be dealt with on a level where they are, right? That when they say cultural sensitive things, like, and I think that in our particular community, it seemed like we tried to do a good job at that. Like when I'm going back to the school, like I was really surprised, even though I knew it, but I was really surprised to hear that, not all school districts close their doors during it, but because we have such a high population of Muslim refugees here, the school is closed during it, so that the children can celebrate. And then also I see it played out in different community spaces where they're creating that space so that people can deal with themselves. Like it's not just indoctrination. So that environment, helps us to get out of that habitual space of feeling stuck or like no representation. So that's my thoughts on it. I know I've tried not to be too controversial, but I really do believe that, that we're individuals, but then we interact with other people who are individuals too. And a lot of time they're trying to impose their belief on us, and that becomes an issue.
Yes. I have a quick question for you before I move on to Victoria's. What are some everyday cycles that people don't even realize that they're in? What have you seen?
I would say, I think it's just ignorance. I just think, the information is out there, and if they don't know, then they think that they're just supposed to do it one way. Like there's only one way to do something. I always think about that story. I heard about the story about the woman that was baking a turkey and she would always cut the legs off. You heard that story before? No? Okay. So, and I could be saying the story wrong, but it was a woman who every time she would bake the turkey, she would cut the legs off. And, that's because her parents did it. So one of the children was like, why do you always cut the legs off the turkey? He said, well, this is the way mom did it. And then little girl goes to grandma and says, "Grandma, why you always take the legs off the turkey?" And grandma said, "Oh, because my oven was too small. I couldn't fit the whole turkey in the oven." But it was done. It was passed on through generations because nobody asked the question. And to, the one that's where you break that curse right there. You ask that question, ask questions and learn all about yourself. And just asking that question was like, and I know I'm telling the story wrong, but I get the point, right? It's like, we're just a habitual thing when we're not asking questions.
Thank you. And I'm moving the shaker who is watching from Facebook. Happy Sunday, Prince B. And Ashe. Ash. That's my language. Let's go. All right. So we're going to flow right into segment 2, which is the breaking point. I'm going to, I don't know, did any of you ladies, before I move on, wanted to, reflect, expound, or, react to what Sister Tioka just expressed?
Well, I would like to address, but Venus, did you want to go first?
My mic was muted. You go ahead. You started.
Okay, so I'm currently taking 2 classes at my college, and it's helping me think about, this question that you ask in reference to how the environment and the community can help the community, or help the community, or help the community heal, that kind of thing. And I came up with tradition, religion, politics, economics, education, mentors, and leaders, or leadership. I think those things have to be consistent and have to be all over, not just in certain areas, or not just on certain blocks, or, and it has to be an equal effort in the community. In politically, it has to be an equal effort. If you're gonna fix the potholes on one side of town, you need to fix the potholes on every side of town. Okay. And then as it relates to economics, everybody has to invest. That stuff doesn't get done for free. So we have to look at it from a standpoint of money that's been allocated to community, that is used equally, that is supplied equally. We have to look at our faith traditions. God constantly updates. There are some things that never change, but there are some things that update. I don't think God wants us from a spiritual perspective as it relates to following Christ. Following Christ. That's what I do. I follow Christ, and the Bible is my book. But I don't think God wants us going around killing men, women, children today, as it was done in the Old Testament. So when people tell me, read the Bible and everything is, this, that, and the other, no, everything is not, but what we have to do is allow Spirit to help us rightfully divide the word of truth and eat the meat and spit out the bones. God constantly keeps upgrading us, no matter what faith background we are, and keeps updating the tools. And God is 10 steps ahead or 20 steps ahead, anything that we ever think with this brain, this little puny brain of ours. It's just a question of listening and putting those things into action. Because for a long time, I told the church, you got to let these young people in who rap. Okay. And they waited how many years before they start letting them in? It's ridiculous. And it hurt our community. It caused harm to our community. And then those who were in political power, they fought to get the explicit lyric tag on the music, but they didn't fight to go to the radio stations and shut them down from calling Black women B's and H's. Okay. And they also didn't listen to the young people in their music when they were saying that they were being faced with police brutality, you know, and that, you know, or wonder why they were calling women B's and H's. Why are they doing that? What's the root cause of that? Nobody wanted to know. Nobody wanted to march for that. So I'm going to get off my soapbox, but, you know, I'm learning there's things around the world that affect us right here, right where we are in our communities. You know, when people make deals in political power positions around the world, at the UN, okay, at NATO, you know, and when they're using trillions of dollars in the Congress and the Senate, that is also our money. And we don't have any, and we don't have no input in order to stop them or to reel them in. That's a problem. Or to make sure that our voices are heard just like everybody else. There's a fight that's still going on that our ancestors fought, that our grandmothers fought, that our mothers fought. It's enough. But it's enough of us if we come together and unify, which I know that a lot of people are doing that in Utica and in other places and stuff, in New York City and things of that nature. But we have to be consistent and continue this and open up the door for others to come to the table as well. And lastly, I'm gonna wrap this up. We're never going to help our community if we don't properly invest or require those who we make millionaires to invest in our children, in our elders, and in our community, and in the minds of young people. So, you know, what I notice about other communities, they invest in their children, and you know, more than we do, more than the basketball players, more than the entertainment and from you know, the different people of color and stuff like that. We've had that fight for a long time, but we have to start holding them accountable. Like from a rap standpoint, I'm getting ready to do something with a rap ministry, and the goal is to give some of the rappers in the biz an opportunity to give back to the young people who have made them millionaires. And I'll end on that. And if anybody has any comments, they can feel free.
Yes.
I'm still thinking about that turkey and how it speaks to xenophobic tendencies that are actually present in a lot of our systems all around us. You know, I mean, if I go into a store, maybe somebody's not going to think so much of me. But if my sister and my cousin come with me, they're going to be looking like they might want to steal something, you know, and it's because their uncles and their daddies think that people who look like us are bound to steal, are only there to stop you from having the more that you believe you have. So xenophobia is one of those things that I do believe is one of the things that helps to help where our community is helping to undo some of the progress that we could be using to move forward, because we were all created with our own individual strengths. And because people are looking at us a certain way, then we look at ourselves a certain way. And then all of a sudden we can't do the things that we should be able to do, that we would be able to do, that we could be able to do if only people weren't looking at us, and if only we weren't worried about people looking at us or what might come of people looking at us. You know, I'm really glad that there are events going on and inspirations going on, because one of the things that people don't do in community enough is send their children to Sister Chioka over at that Carol Crooms Becca Center. They're over there learning business, nutrition, holistic responses to the things that are going to stress them out if they get older and don't have these tools. You know, Another thing is like not sending their people over to Reverend LaDana, where the message is being brought to them in a way that they can understand. You know, a lot of people just think that if you don't speak the way that we speak, then we can't talk to you. And nobody's really considering that maybe you might learn something if you pick up a couple of different dialects maybe you might understand something better, because there are levels to intelligence. There are levels to all of this. And we can get caught up on the wrong level, a lower level, when we're meant to be elevated way up here. So I got to say that people might also want to get hype with the Hype 100 radio station, because we know we're also helping people wake up. And look at Sparkle, Sister Sparkle over here. Not enough people are tuning in right now, you know, to the SisStar Cipher, where we're sharing valid information on Reality Speaks, you know, trying to help people understand that there are other perspectives, but some of them can help you understand yours a little bit more. We have some closed minds out here, and I think, you know, opening them and looking to see if there is something outside the box is, you know, researching for ourselves, even, you know, learning new skills, and then coming together and using them for something beneficial for everyone in the community that we exist in, because trying to stop one another is not going to help us get any better, because it is what it is, but it becomes what you make it.
That's right. That's right. There was one other population in the community that I really want us to remember, and that is the prison population and the formerly incarcerated, who have come 80%. When I was working as a correctional officer, 80% are coming home. And we need to understand, not only do we need to care about them when they get home, but we need to figure out how, you know, we work with the state to better the conditions. Speaking of environment, the environment in prison, because if you say, first of all, there's too many people of color in prison, as if nobody else is committing crimes. I'm sick of that mess. And they just building prisons and putting us in them. Okay. I want to bust the doors down and find out what's going on in there, you know, and then figure out what we can do to extend a hand. Definitely as clergy, that's something I'll be working on. So we have to figure out. And by the way, there is a movie, there's a documentary that everybody should see. I just saw it at class last week. It's powerful. We need to see. It's called Alabama Solutions. If you have not seen Alabama Solutions, it's on Hulu. And it's available for download on Amazon. But, you know, they had some inmates, you know, go on camera, somehow get them to do a feed in the prison to show the conditions. And it's a true documentary. So I encourage everybody to check into that, because we have to care, you know, and we have to care as soon as we possibly can. And I'll leave it there.
So Mover and Shaker says these are all institutions. Institutions only have their own efforts. It sounds good, but since we know and it's not working, now what? Better follow in Christ. Religion is set by structure for its own reason. But in church, there was a lot of mishaps. These mega churches did not help. Before nationwide, our own communities are failing. Yes, invest in self. Yes. So does anybody want to speak to what a mover and shaker is talking about? Especially this one.
I would like to say that a mover and a shaker is part of a network of individuals. So support and networking is in the foundation of her efforts at the Hype 100 radio station. You know, she's helping young people excel 100% of the time. So she's speaking to how we all have a set of institutions, honestly, because there's the government, and then there's the the school system, and the people who make our food and the people who grow our food. They're all institutions. I am an institution. You know, we all are capable of authorizing things for our own purposes. And I agree that we should be investing in ourselves, but I also don't want to give Sparkle the opportunity to avoid the question for herself, because we must hold each other accountable in these discussions as we have them. So Sparkle, we can go ahead and do the sidebar after, but we need to have your answer too, please, Miss.
All right, so I don't even remember. Victoria, you do this to me a lot. What was the question that you want me to know, Victoria? What is the question? Because I'm caught up in the flow.
The question that you had asked us was about the contributions that that community can have in keeping us stagnant and or improving ourselves.
That was Sister Tioka's question. Oh my
Oh,
God.
sounds good to me. We use it all. Use it all today.
All right, I bet. Say less. So you want to know, how does environment and community play a role in keeping people stuck or helping them? It's called white supremacy. It's called the Constitution needs to be reformed, redone, and rewritten. So that's what it is. The environment plays a role. So contributing factors are your environment. Where you live, where you go to school, what do you know? Do you read? Can you write? Do you have money? Did you eat yesterday? When was the last time you ate? And when you ate, was it nutritious? Did it help your mind? Did it inspire you to do something amazing? So the environment is keeping us, stuck, and the community is a product of the environment. So if the community is not voting locally, or if the community is not interested, if the community is downtrodden, if the community is separated, disenfranchised, marginalized, traumatized, dramatized, y'all kind of get where I'm going with this, right? So
she rapping, Sister Lady Jam.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, she is.
You see her, Princess B, right? She's out here rapping, letting you know she got that like talent too.
I hear her freestyling. She freestyling.
So that's what our environment can keep us stuck. We're as sick as what we are. So in order for our environment to change, in order for us to heal, we must do the inside work. And the inside work looks like, what's keeping you sick? And some of us might not know we're even sick. So I think listening to what we're talking about now, our vibration, what we're saying, what's coming from our heart, is actually going to help these people see clearer. This is Resurrection Sunday. I'm here for it. Does that answer your question, Victorious?
I feel like there's a part missing. Like what, but maybe there isn't, because it was originally your question. But I got caught up on Tioka's turkey too, because that was a beautiful story. I'm going to share with my grandchildren later.
What are some everyday cycles people don't realize they're in? Everyday cycle people don't realize they're in is that there's some unhealthy habits. The way we eat, what we are watching on television, on social media, the people, places, and things that we're around. Those are the everyday cycles that we realize that we're in, that we don't realize that we're in. Even the job we're called ourselves to go making money in, the schools, the institutions, all of these places. These are the everyday cycles that we don't realize we're in. We're sick because we are feeding these cycles, and we're not healing. Not all of us, but that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah,
and,
it's important.
I'm listening.
It's important to learn what those things are, and figure out how to bring solutions. Let me leave that. We've had a lot of pain, okay? And we've had to deal with a lot of pain, and we have pushed through a lot of pain, and we have helped other people live lavishly, and we've helped other people, make progress that many of us have not seen in our own lives or communities or whatever. I'm saying that because, Bayard Rustin helped to put together the March on Washington as a member, and he was an out member of the Black gay community. All right, but he was a full force in organizing the March on Washington. Pauli Murray's name, Judge Ruth Bader Ginsburg from the Supreme Court, formerly of the Supreme Court, would not put her and Thurgood Marshall would not put the paperwork forward without Pauli Murray's papers, that she did. Pauli Murray, was, people need to know more about Pauli Murray. She now has a space at Yale. She's a part of our community, but she was constantly focused on laws. Pauli Murray talked to the wife of President Roosevelt. They were on a first name basis. How many of us in our community know that one of us was on a first name basis with the wife of President Roosevelt? Okay. Pauli Murray also was the co-founder of NOW, National Organization for Women. How many of us, if we had known that? I know if I was in school and I had known that, that would have caused me not to think that going to school was for white people. Because in my day, I didn't see black people in the books. So I thought the books was for white people. Okay. And I'm going to, but I understand now we have so many ways to get information. Back in the day, the black church had freedom schools. I think we probably, to address a question that came earlier from Venus's colleague, there's things that we're going to have to create for ourselves. We can't wait for other people to create those things for us, and I think that's also maybe what Tioka was talking about earlier too, because they're doing a wonderful job, like Venus said, at their center, and more of us are going to have to look at, educating our own children and also working with those who want to assist in, whatever other ways and stuff like that. And last thing, there's a book by attorney Ben Crump. It's called Open Season. Open Season. And I say, if you have whatever your holy book is, this book should be next to it, because it helps, even if you don't go to school to get a law degree. It's information about laws in this country and laws that have us stuck, okay, or had us stuck. And attorney Ben Crump, he brings that so fluently in this book that is called Open Season, and its subtitle is Open Season, legal genocide on people of color. That's the subtitle, legal genocide on people of color, and it's called Open Season. We got to learn more about this, how to navigate by finding out the information that other people have, and then as we get the information, figure out how we can come together, or how we can use it to help our folks. Even when I went to school before, I'm going to school now, I'm taking the information that I didn't know, and I'm going to make sure that it's wrapped in something that can be given to the community, and that, we can work towards and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll end right there.
Sister Tio. No, I was wondering if you was thinking something in that beautiful noggin.
No, I just was agreeing.
Okay. All right, good. So Reverend LaDana, since you had the mic last, I want to ask you your question, and then Venus, I have your question, and then we pretty much closing out here. We got 48 minutes, and we got a whole line of comments that I want to get to too. So let's just from a spiritual perspective, Reverend, what does that break-in process look like? What does a break-in process look like? And how do you stay anchored in faith when you're in that kind of season? So the kind of season I'm talking about is like, when we're going through a season where we have to grow and things might get a little dark, So from a spiritual perspective, what does that break-in process look like? And how do you stay anchored in faith when you're in that kind of season, Reverend?
Okay, so I'm trying to understand what you mean by breaking.
So what I mean is by breaking is like when we're going through something in life, when we feel like, we're up against the ropes, or, we're at our breaking point, when we're at it, it's typically a season, an opportunity to grow, really, but when we're in that space is what I mean by breaking process.
Okay. So the immediately when you say breaking, there's a word that comes, that I would connect to that. Part of the breaking is so that we can get a breakthrough. Okay. Part of the breaking is so that we can get a breakthrough. Part of the breaking, if people say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay. But sometimes we have to break stuff, and I don't know if it's breaking it or we have to bring stuff to people's attention, and let them know that some things, just intolerable, and we have to fix it. And as far as real short answer, how do I stay anchored? It's my faith. When God comes and gets you at the club and hooks you up with the holy hookup, when you're 21 years old, 22 years old, that's a big deal. That's powerful stuff. It's like the one that really rules the world, the one that really put everything into existence, the one that helped everybody develop their faith, practices and things of that nature, and gave all of us life and breath and all that kind of stuff, talks to you, which God did, audibly talk to me, in 1985 and saved my life. So that helps me to stay grounded, meaning when these storms and these winds come, or these breaking points, or these challenges, or these dark times, or these negativity, I remind myself, we've been here before. Okay. And when we were here, what did God do? Okay. Hooked you up with the holy hookup. So why you tripping? Why you weeping? Why you crying? Why don't you just put your spiritual armor on? Okay. And stand tough in your spot, and stuff ain't easy out here today. But I'm gonna tell you, if it wasn't for my faith, I'd be a hot mess, and I'll leave it at that.
Sometimes the hardest thing to be delivered from is a mindset that we learn to survive in. So I'm going to get to the resurrection part of this segment. Victorious, I have a question for you. What did overcoming look like in your personal journey? And what would you say?
I'm glad you asked, because I actually have an illustration.
Okay, great.
I don't want to make a mess, but this right here was my brain. And then it did this. Oh, look at that. What can I do with that? And then I found restoration. And now I have something solid to work with and a fresh start. Yes, this right here looks like, the answer to the question. This is what it looks like. A fresh start.
So is that a boiled egg? Like if you do that again, would it break again?
No, that would absolutely. The egg is not boiled at all, because you don't want to cook the brain. It's got some growth to do. You don't want to solidify the size. No, wow. That one has still got plenty of room to be molded into whatever shape we decide to make it when it's fully ready for use. But this right here, this mess, what am I supposed to do with this? It's got shells in it. It's got yolk, and ugh. I couldn't just drink this. I mean, somebody could, but I'd at least maybe blend it, so I can't tell what it looks like. But yeah, restoration looks like it's still got all the potential in the world. I can still do it, anything I want with this brand new, fresh thing, because my point and the way that I live my life, the reason why I can do it again and again is because I know it is what it is, but it becomes what we make it.
Poetry.
Amen. Oh, this is wonderful. This is wonderful.
Yes,
the sisterhood is real. The sisterhood is real. I love all of y'all. I mean that from my heart. Sisterhood is real. God bless you.
Sister Tioka
We love you
Muhammad,
back.
what would you say to someone right now trying to rise but keeps getting pulled back?
If at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off. Try again. You try again. Do I need to sing it? Right? I mean,
Yes,
I know
Sing it, sing
it
it,
sounds
sing
too
it.
simple. But sometimes you need something simple, a simple solution. It can't be, it don't have to be complex all the time. It could just be simple.
No.
Just try again. I mean, unless you want to lay down and die,
Mhm.
just keep trying. Keep trying. Dust yourself off and try again. In the words of Aaliyah.
Mhm. Yes, yes, yes. Dust yourself off and try again. Dust yourself
But I
off
was,
and try again.
real talk, right? We got to make it complicated. I was thinking about the two questions that the other sisters was answering, and all I can think about is when you're working out. Like, I don't think we consider what happens to our body while we're trying to build up a muscle. Like, it's literally, I know Sister LaDana was like, the breakthrough, and she's giving an analogy of, of the breakthrough, and then Sister Venus is like, you're gonna, this is gonna look messy, but it's gonna be whole again. So I kept thinking about, that's like when I be working out, and I be so sore.
Mm-hmm.
Because what's happening is that you're ripping your muscles.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sore. Mm-hmm. But the gain is the breakthrough. Because on top of the ripping, you build back up to be stronger, more endurance. So I just wanted to add that part to it. It's like, keep pushing. Keep working it out. I mean, what else you gonna do? You're gonna lay down and die. That's the only other, the resurrection represents to do it again, to come, to try it again, to rise up.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right? To overcome difficulties.
Yes, ma'am.
To rise above. So, yes, my thought. This is great, Sister Lady Jam. For us to come together and talk about it. And Venus, I love that. It is what it is. I like that. Where you get that from?
and I like to impart to us something I learned in the military. Okay, because when they came in the Army basic training, when they came and they snatched the mattresses out from under us. Okay, when they came and snatched that mattress out from under me, I said it was the last time they was gonna have to do that. Okay. But my point is, it takes discipline. Excuse me. And a lot of people need to work that discipline muscle. Okay. And, like a spiritual boot camp. Yeah, it's what I used to do with Church in the Hood. We called it the spiritual boot camp. I might need to do it again. But yeah, it took great discipline for me to even stay on my faith. Like Sister Sparkle asked me earlier, it also took not just me believing in my faith, but it took my discipline to stand on it. And no matter what I was trying to accomplish in my life, it's taking great discipline. Whatever I was trying to say no to, those things that would get me stuck, it took great discipline to overcome those things. So if we find ourselves stuck, first of all, we need to find out what the lesson is here. What is the lesson? Why am I stuck, right? And at least try to identify something, because you won't be able to identify everything, but identify something and start there and figure out why am I stuck, and then work on your discipline to not do the things that you know are going to cause you harm or somebody else harm in your life or in your community. And you know, that's just another solution type of thing I like to leave with you.
Thank you.
I have to say that I see Sparkle trying to go ahead and try to push it off, but she got a question to answer. Don't you?
She's funny, y'all. So I do have a couple more questions. The people who have some stuff to say, but what you want me to answer now, Victorious?
What do I want you to answer? You didn't.
Yes.
You didn't give me the same question for yourself. Want to pick our brains for all the good solutions? We know you got some shit.
So let me see here, because I'm over here. I'm like just flowing. I'm not really. I'm like forget about these questions at this point. Oh, what did overcoming look like in my personal story? What would you say to someone trying to rise but keeps getting pulled back? That was your question, Victorious. Did you answer that?
Oh, that was
I gave the
Tioka,
restoration, and you gave Sister Tioka the what would you advise others? But this one right here was my advice right here, and it was very similar to what Sister Tioka said. If at first you don't succeed, you brush yourself off and try again. It is what it is, but it becomes what you make it. And y'all can hear me say this a number of times on my talkcast, The Divide, on hype100radio.net. Just put it out there if y'all need some more solutions.
Overcome look like for me in my personal story. I'm overcoming. It looks like forward motion. It looks like healing out loud. It looks like loving out loud. It looks like living out loud. And what would you say to someone trying to rise but keeps getting pulled back? I would say to that person, peace, be still. If every time you try to rise and you get pulled back, then that means just be still for a moment. It's just season to be still. So when you be still, then nature, you are allowing nature to take course. So when the nature takes course, when it's time to you to shift and move, you will be shifted and you will be moved. So if you keep trying to rise, but you keep getting pulled back, be still. Be still until you are forced to move. Okay, and now you look amazing, V and Miss LaDana. We have a song of yours playing on the Inspirational Ministries on Hype. Great word undo. It's time. Get hype, ladies. I love this. And thank you for watching A Moving and Shaking. So right now we have 16 people watching. So I'm not sure where everybody's watching from, but I want to give a shout out to LinkedIn, the League of Professionals. We're broadcasting live there. So peace to LinkedIn. Peace to people who's watching from YouTube and Facebook. We love you all. Miss Sparkle, I absolutely support the movement. And Sister Tioka, I love your energy and your vibrations. And CJ Empress, thank you for watching. She says she's agreed. And Sister Tioka, Chris Sutherland. Hi, Chris. Says real talk. Real talk. She keeps the visual. I'm not sure who keeps the visual. I'm just going through the comments real quick. Okay, we got YouTube in the house. From Big
Abigail Comedy.
Abigail, thank you.
It's Abigail.
This is too much.
Abigail Comedy.
Abigail Comedy. Perfection is not required, but trying is. All right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And Mover and a Shaker says, which we learned for 5 years, first 5 years of life. Get back up. You are your biggest voice, good, bad, and ugly. You have it in you, that muscle, that Christ-like gene. Wake it up. Okay, I'm moving and shaker. You know, moving and shaking us over here. All right, let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. There was another question. What was that question?
OG, peace, be still. Ashe. Okay, so I think we got everybody here. And so we're at 8:15, ladies. I want to know what y'all think about. So a comeback isn't waiting on God to move; it's waiting on your mind to shift. Is what I heard from listening to you all tonight. Am I missing anything? Did you ladies want to add anything before we close out?
Uh, I would like to add that along with discipline, when God does speak to us, or Spirit does speak to us, it's important to be obedient. Because if God says make the phone call at 2 o'clock, there's a reason for that. Because everybody's going to be in place when that phone call is made at 2 o'clock, when the Lord told you, or the God told you, or Spirit told you to make that phone call. And there's a set of dominoes set up, you know? So that's where obedience comes in, and is helpful. Sometimes we wonder why things didn't transpire a certain way, but we didn't make the phone call at 2 o'clock. And we don't think about that. So that's one thing. And then the last thing is we have to stop looking in the mirror and lying to ourselves. What do I mean by that? We said we were going to go to the gym. We said it New Year's. We said it before New Year's. We said we were going to start our own business. We said we were going to do this, that, or the other. We said we were going to remove something from our home. All right. After a while, when you start looking in the mirror at yourself starts looking back at you saying, you lying, but I hear you, you know? And then we're also putting stuff in the universe. So now we're confusing the universe, because the universe don't know how to respond, because we keep flipping the script, you know? And sometimes we have to flip the script, but you understand what I'm saying. Back in the day, I'll just say, we used to say something called my word is bond. All right. We've got to get our integrity and make sure that our word is bond with each other, with community, with the young people, with the elders, between the different ministries, with people who we know have dealings with our economic and our welfare. So we have to keep our word. Our word is our bond. I'll leave you with that.
And I have a word that I found written and in my notes here that says in 2 Corinthians 12:9, that it is written, this promise, that my grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in your weakness. So it's okay to not be okay. It's just not okay to stay not okay.
I have a couple of quotes that I would like to share. What would profit us to build magnificent structures, beautiful buildings, magnificent bridges, built with magnificent technology, and the soul of those human beings are wretched and deprived and underdeveloped and rotten from within? Mm-hmm. It is not enough that we grow horizontally through the acquisition of farms, factory, banks, industry, trade, commerce, money, or good homes. Why? Because horizontal growth alone is death. All dead things are on a horizontal level. Therefore, resurrection. Therefore, we must grow vertically, grow in uprightness, or we will be overcome by a horizontal growth. So that's how I would like to end it. This is a quote from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Self-improvement is the basis of community development.
And you can't hear me?
We can't see you.
Oh.
Right, we cannot see you.
Oh my goodness, what is that about? No, did that work? No. Okay, so I'm gonna have to be ghost I have to be in the shadows for this one then. So we have some comments that I didn't want to leave out. Can y'all see the comments? Bars.
Yes,
I guess that's what shout out to Aaliyah Makael, our sisters from the Moors. We got the Moorish Empire too, that our what we call our sovereign brothers and sisters. They're tuning in as well. Makael Aaliyah, she's watching from Facebook. Yes, is what she's saying there. And Chris Sutherland is saying, thank you all for continuing to be light for us in all these shadows. You're amazing. You're welcome, Chris. I'm right here in the shadows. You don't see me, but I'm here. Love you, Chris. Thanks for watching. And keep that same energy. And I'm just going through this really quick. Oh, okay. Let's see. What's going on? I'm CJ. CJ says, I said a prayer one night and told God my life was breaking apart and I had no control. That night, I received a dream about a seed sown deep in the ground. It was split apart and a new shoot was pushing through. That night, I got the understanding of breaking and breakthrough. Wow.
That sounds like a song.
That's poetry. That's Empress poetry right there. Wow, that put that into a song. And she says she keeps the visual, V. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, Victoria's keeps in the visuals. She got more visuals. Here we go.
I got some microgreen soup. I'm up on it. The microgreens.
Awesome.
Wow.
That's awesome. Awesome.
What type of greens are they?
I believe that they said those are pinto beans.
Oh yeah, I'm coming to get some of those. Which we wait. I gotta talk to Sister Tioka about that too first. So I'm not coming to get it.
No, she said navy beans. She said we gotta eat the navy beans and the black beans and the navy bean family beans.
And the lentils. Which I'm moving to shake. It says which we learned first 5 years. Oh, I read that already. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And powerful is how she's ending out. All right. Okay, ladies. So now, can you tell people who's watching, because a lot of people I do not know, how can people follow you after today? They might want to tune in your social media. Just don't give them your telephone number, and definitely don't give them your address, because you will get some stalkers. Okay, I'll start with you, Sister Tioka.
Okay, I am Sister Tioka Muhammad. I represent the Cal El Kroon Business Becker Center Business Education Culture Activity Center. You can follow us at the Cal El Kroon Center on Facebook for updates on all activities. The next activity that we have coming up will be this Thursday. It is something for the youth. It is called. Hold up now. I gotta really
bring it up. Bring it up.
I gotta bring it up. It is called Stress Less, Dream More, a youth mental health wellness event. And we will be talking about different ways that our youth can deal with stress. Stresses in school, stresses in the family life, stresses with peers. And then we're going to give them tools to learn how to do those things that they can do that can be like a hobby, so that they can do some things outside of just playing video games. But y'all know what I mean. So we're going to have some vision boarding, some painting, and some keychain making with affirmations. We're going to teach them the tools. We're going to try to teach them the tools that they can use to help to relieve stress. You know, even though they're younger, they are definitely living in a very stressful, hostile environment. So, and that's this Thursday from 12 to 3 p.m. at the Cal El Kroon Becker Center, 1105 Park Ave. You do have to register for this event. Go to the Facebook page so that you can register.
Go to the Facebook page and register. Don't leave them babies out. They need to be in the building. Utica, New York.
Utica, New York. Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Victorious. What you got going on, and where can we find you?
Well, I'm kind of one of those kind of catch me where I'm at type people. So you can catch me at the Hype 100 radio station, of course. But I do have my own website for business with me at putthatrightback.com. You can catch me at Sister Tioka, Sister Tioka's spot trying to find out what she's cooking over there. You can find me over at the Church in the Hood with Lady Premium. You can find me where the good people is at and where the good things are happening. Yes, that is where I like to be, with the positivity that I can grow with. And I'm trying to figure out whether or not I'm too old to register for that youth workshop, because that sounds like a fine time.
You bring my friends. You bring my 2 friends and you can come. You know your grandchildren.
You know what? I have 4 grandchildren. And 2 of them, well, one of them is in pre-K now, but one of them is a toddler. She's adorable.
No. I need the 2 big ones, the 2 older ones. Bring them to me.
I will tell their mother that you said so. But putthatrightback.com, many social media platforms. But if you're really looking for me, the easiest way to find me is to subscribe to the Hype, because I am on the executive board of the Hype 100 Radio Network. So I work closely with them. Closely, very closely.
Last and certainly not least, Reverend LaDana Clark, aka Lady Jam.
All right, so I'd like to remind everybody that I do have a contribution to the music world that is on all digital platforms, and it is called Hateration, all capital letters, Hateration, and then space Lady Jam, or by Lady Jam. Lady Jam is one word, as you see on the screen, and all capital letters, because there's somebody else out there. We be fighting sometimes, but that's how I spell it. Okay. And we'd be fighting because I had a 45. Okay. And I know she wasn't around when I released that 45. So I guess that's why Facebook and everybody finally got up off of me. Okay. But anyway, you can find Hateration also on my YouTube page, which is Reverend LaDana Clark. I have a YouTube page, aka Lady Jam. And then also you can find me on Facebook. It's just my first name, LaDana Clark. And then Instagram is Reverend LaDana Clark. You can find me on Instagram. I just want to say happy Resurrection Day, and that things are going to get better. Everybody keep the faith, hold on. And what we all must not do is give up. Okay? Don't give up. Ever. Don't give up. All right?
Did you mention the red door? Did you mention the red door?
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. I did not. I forgot. So, y'all got to show up in person. Like, bring your love, bring your voice in person, April 12th to the Red Door Church in Oneonta, New York. We'll be there from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. for the Gathering for Humanity. And when I say bring your voices, I'm not asking you to bring what I believe. I'm not asking you to come, I'm asking you to come as you are and bring what you have to bring to the table, because this is not I stand up in front of you and talk to you the whole time. No, this is an interactive engagement gathering for humanity. And we will have DJ Mr. CEO from Albany, New York, who's coming through, DJ Wooden. So we're going to get our dance on, all right, for all the right reasons, okay, and give God the praise. And I'm looking forward to having that bass in them speakers, okay? So please, all roads lead April 12th to the Red Door Church in Oneonta, New York, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. And we're also going to feed you as well at the end. What's a gathering without, breaking bread together, And I can't wait to get back to Tioka. I miss my food, Tioka, Sister Tioka. I miss my food. That woman can cook, y'all. Lord have mercy, Jesus.
Period, Pooh.
I would like to point. I would like to point out that Hateration is the song that a mover and a shaker was talking about in the comments, is playing on hype100radio.net. And I also did forget to tell y'all that there is a movie coming out on the 26th of
Look.
oh, there you go. Yes. Oh, it's playing right now? Okay. But what I was yeah, that's true. Okay. Now what I was going to say though is that Dennis Dewey has a movie that is premiering on the 21st of May, 2026 at Munson. That movie will be premiering, and I am in it. If y'all looking to see more of me, that is one more place that you can see the victorious one.
Hello.
All right.
The Return 2051.
A mover and shaker says you all were being broadcasted on www.hype100radio.net. Thank you, Venus. Back at it.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, Hype 100. We hype.
We hype. We hype. One love. One love.
Ooh, 666. Peace and love to you.
Peace and love,
right.
666. Thanks for watching from Facebook.
All right.
And 666 will be there. We'll be there.
All right.
Did we mention the address for the red door? I know we said where it is.
No, the red door. Oh, y'all messing with me now. 318 Main 38. I hope I'm getting this right. But you can Google the Red Door Church. I believe it's 318 Main Street, but don't quote me on that.
Victoria's about to hook you up right now. She's about to look it up for you.
I'm about to Google it right quick.
And CJ,
hey, listen, I just show up there.
Wow, I'm trying to leave out y'all now. 9 more people come in the room. What's up, y'all? And then 9 more people show up just like that fast. All right,
CJ says, Empress got some poetry.
She said the dream is now a poem. Thanks for a great evening. Have a bountiful week. God bless. I have a question for people who are... Yes. I have a question for people who are watching at home, because you're not just going to leave that quick. I got some questions that I want to, what they call the questions that you can think about as you go on. What are you still holding on to that needs to be released? Is there a version of you trying to rise right now? And the last question is, are you honoring your process, or are you rushing it? Are you honoring the process, or are you rushing it? I like to say I respect the process. So those are my questions, my food for thought questions that I have for my listening audience at home. And as we close out, I want to say that this evening, this isn't just about leaving the tomb. It's about leaving that mindset that put you there.
Come on now.
This season, don't just celebrate resurrection, become it. You don't have to rush. And everything was real, and I felt it. Remember to guide yourself. Don't control yourself. Thank you to each of you incredible women who were here on the panel with me today for showing up in truth and strength, and most importantly, in grace this Resurrection Sunday. And thank you to everyone who tuned in and allowed yourself to fill this space and to be felt. Tonight wasn't just a conversation, it was a friendly reminder. A reminder that what you're carrying is real, even if nobody sees it, even if you don't have the words for it. But also a reminder, you don't have to stay there. You can be free on the outside and still be in bondage on the inside. But tonight, we talked about what it looks like to begin to be breaking free. So this season, I want you to be gentle to yourself. I want you to honor your process and don't rush who you're becoming. And when the time comes, rise anyway. I'm Sparkle Denise. This is Reality Speaks TV. This was SisStar Cipher, and we are real people having real talk in real time. Peace.
And the address to the Red Door Church is 381 Main Street, Oneonta, New York.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you. Thank you. God bless everyone.